Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabby, and today we're going to be doing a video talking all about my most anticipated books for the rest of 2024. I cannot believe that we are already in the month of August, and we only have like less than 4 months remaining of 2024, and yet I still have about 20-ish books publishing within the year of 2024 coming out in these last couple of months that I am really looking forward to. And so I thought I would make an entire video just to let you know about all of my anticipated books that are still coming out in the last quarter of the year. In this video, I do have a number of different thrillers, of course. I have some horror books, and I have some romances. I even have a few like contemporary fiction kind of books as well. You know what else I'm anticipating this year? My sleep. You might think I'm joking with that, but I could not be more serious. So let me take a second to thank today's video sponsor, which is Helix. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am to be working with a brand like Helix. But if you're unfamiliar for whatever reason with Helix, they make premium mattresses. And these mattresses are customized to fit your needs, and they're shipped conveniently right to your door. So the cool thing about Helix is that they have this sleep quiz, and this quiz matches you to the perfect mattress based on your body type and your sleep preferences. They'll also ask if you sleep with a partner, if you're usually sleeping by yourself. For me personally, I'm the kind of person that typically will sleep on my back, but I'm also a big side sleeper, and so I'm constantly flipping from side to side, but I'm a really big side sleeper. And so I got matched with the Helix Midnight Luxe mattress, and dude, this mattress is stunning in person. Oh my god, it is beautiful. I've only had this mattress for a few weeks now, but I can already tell you that I've noticed a difference in my sleep. I mean, look at Tank. Tank is just chilling. He's really loving this new mattress. Aw. Tank is not a paid actor, I swear. So Helix does deliver this mattress right to your door with free shipping in the US. The mattress comes rolled up in a box and is really easy to set up. I was actually really surprised with how easy this was to set up because I thought it was going to be more of a headache than it was. Something that I love about Helix is the fact that there is a 100-night sleep trial to test the mattress and ensure that you love it. Not only that, but Helix mattresses do include a 10-year warranty, and they offer financing options and flexible payment plans as well. So you can visit helixsleep.com/gabbyreads to get 20% off your Helix mattress plus 2 free pillows, which let me tell you, the 2 free pillows are absolutely worth it. These pillows are so freaking soft and so freaking comfortable. Thank you so much to Helix for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get into my most anticipated books for the rest of the year. Alright, so kicking off this list of the most anticipated books for the rest of the year, the first one that I have on this list is actually When the World Tips Over by Jandy Nelson. This one is a young adult contemporary fiction novel that's coming out in September, on September 24th. And you might be familiar with this book because I just mentioned it in my most recent book haul video. I recently got an arc of this, and this is the only, I think one of the only young adult books that I have on my most anticipated because it's Jandy Nelson. If for some reason you're not familiar with the name Jandy Nelson, she is a young adult author of some of my most favorite young adult books of all time, including The Sky is Everywhere and I'll Give You the Sun. And so this is one that I'm really looking forward to just because it's Jandy Nelson. She hasn't published a book in like 10 years. And so I'm really looking forward to it. I think her writing is just very good. From what I know about this book, we're following these siblings who live in Northern California in wine country. And then it sounds like it's about how their father mysteriously disappeared. So it sounds like it's going to be a little bit of a family drama as well. I don't know. I'm into it. I can't wait for it. Okay, and then the only other young adult contemporary romance book that I have on this list is this one called When Haru Is Here. And this one is coming out September 3rd. This one, the premise alone just really intrigues me because it says We Are Okay meets WandaVision? Like, I'm sorry, WandaVision? That just has me so intrigued right there. This one says, after the death of his best friend, Eric creates imaginary scenarios in his head to deal with his grief, until one of them becomes real when a boy he met last summer in Japan finds his way back into his life. When he least expects it, Haru Tanaka walks into the coffee shop and sits down next to him. The only thing is nobody else can see him. So it has some kind of like magical realism elements. It sounds like it's gonna be so freaking cute, and I cannot wait to check this one out. I love this cover, by the way. Oh my god, it's so freaking beautiful. Another romance that I have on this list is this one called Fall for Him by Andy Burke. And this one is coming out September 3rd. This one is an LGBT romance, and it's from the same author as Fly With Me, which is a female-female romance that I read. I believe I read it last year, and I thought that that one was just okay, but this one especially looks so cute. I also love the fact that this is a kind of like a close proximity kind of romance because they're neighbors. And then also one of the guys is an ER nurse. It also sounds like that kind of situation where like right when he moves into the apartment, there's some kind of like issue. The other guy decides to help him fix it. And in the meantime, he's gonna be like sleeping on his couch. So it sounds like there's kind of like a roommates to lovers situation kind of happening in this as well, which is one of my favorite tropes. I'm so excited over the fact that Matt Haig has a new book coming out this year called The Life Impossible. This one is expected expected to publish on September 3rd. And this one, like, holy shit, do I even need to know what it's about? No, because it's Matt Haig, who's one of my favorite authors. He's the author of like The Midnight Library and The Humans. And this one says it's a fiction, contemporary, historical fiction, literary fiction. This one says, when retired math teacher Grace Winters is left a run-down house on a Mediterranean island by a long-lost friend, curiosity gets the better of her. She arrives in Ibiza with a one-way ticket, no guidebook, and no plan. Among the rugged hills and golden beaches of the island, Grace searches for answers about her friend's life and how it ended. What she uncovers is stranger than she could have dreamed, but to dive into this impossible truth, Grace must first come to terms with her past. That premise literally gives me nothing, but I'm still so excited because it's freaking Matt Haig and I will read anything that this man writes. And then the only other like romance book that I have on this list is this one called Fang Fiction. Dude, is this not so cute? Oh my god, the cover, the freaking vibes, the way the title is kind of like a pun on fan fiction. Like, I am here for this. It says, the world of your favorite fantasy novel is real and you're invited to visit. The only catch, it's filled with thirsty vampires. Devour this page-turning romance from the best-selling author of One to Watch. Oh my god, I didn't even know that this is the same author as One to Watch. One to Watch was a romance that I read a couple years ago now and I really enjoyed it. But this one's coming out October 1st, and like the fact that it involves like fan fiction, but also vampires, and it's a romance, like it just sounds like it's gonna be so cute. All right, and on to the thriller and the horror books. This one is also publishing in October, on October 4th, and I'm so excited. It's called The Night Guest, and this one is a horror book that looks like it's on the shorter side because it says it's only 208 pages. This one is actually translated as well, but this one sounds so creepy and so interesting. This one is about this main protagonist who's like having a lot of sleeping problems, and it says one night she falls asleep with the watch on and wakes up to find that she's walked over 40,000 steps in the night. It says, what is happening when she's asleep? Why is she waking up with increasingly disturbing injuries? And why won't anyone believe her? Like, dude, I'm sorry, what the heck? That is so creepy. Oh my god, like the idea that you're walking over 40,000 steps in your sleep and you don't know what you're doing, that's horrifying. So I can't wait to read The Night Guest. I'm also excited because I think Kayla chose this one as one of her October Literally Dead book club picks, so even more reason to check this one out. And then speaking of Kayla's October Literally Dead book club picks, there's also this one called Graveyard Shift by M.L. Rio. This one is actually publishing at the end of September this year, and this is another horror novella because this one's only about 144 pages. But this one sounds so interesting. It's from the same author of If We Were Villains, which is a book that I read a number of years ago now that I really, really loved. And so I'm really excited to check out this new book from this author. It says this is a story about a ragtag group of night shift workers who meet in the local cemetery to unearth the secrets lurking in an open grave. I love that this one takes place in the month of October, so it sounds like it's gonna have like the perfect vibes. It says that they find a hole that wasn't there before, a fresh open grave where no grave should be, but who dug it and for whom? Before they go their separate ways, the gravedigger returns. As they trail him through the night, they realize he may be the key to a string of strange happenings around town that have made headlines for the last few weeks, and they may be closer to the mystery than they thought. I don't know, it sounds like it's gonna be so interesting and just have like the perfect October spooky vibe, so I can't wait for it. Oh my god, and then my freaking fave, Nick Cutter, has a new book coming out August 27th, so like later this month, and it's a new horror book called The Queen. This one, I don't know, how do you feel about this cover? I feel like part of me really likes it, and then part of me is like, it could be better. I kind of like the vintage look of it though. It really looks like something that could have been published in like the 80s or something, you know? This one says it's a heart-pounding novel of terror about a young woman searching for her missing friend and uncovering a shocking truth. It says Margaret Carpenter wakes up to find a new iPhone on her doorstep. She switches it on to find a text from her best friend, Charity. The problem is Charity's been missing for over a month, and most people, even the police in town, think that she's dead. Margaret and Charity have been lifelong friends. They share everything, know the most intimate details about one another, but Charity carries a secret that even she is unaware of, a secret engraved in her DNA helix. For Charity is also known Subject 6, the crown jewel of Project Athena. Oh, so there's like some weird gene manipulation experiments or something happening in this book. Honestly, like the premise is making it sound more sci-fi, but it's interesting because I don't see sci-fi even listed in the genres of this. So I am really curious to check out this one, and because it's Nick Cutter, I'll literally be reading anything this man writes because of how much I love the troupe. Alright, this next one is called Private Rights by Julia Armfield, and this is another one that I think this one published in the UK in June this year, but I believe that in the States it doesn't publish until December. There's also this other cover which is so freaking beautiful. I don't know if this one is the US version of the cover or if this one is the US. I'm not totally sure, but either way, I do love both covers. Like, I think they're both really beautiful. But this is one that I'm so excited about because it's the same author as Our Wives Under the Sea, which is a horror book that I read recently that I really freaking loved. Like, I love that one so much. And this one says it's a haunting novel of three sisters navigating queer love and faith at the end of the world. Like, I'm sorry, what? That sounds so interesting. I love stories about sisters. I love stories that have queer characters. And I also love reading about books that take place at the end of the world. So this one checks a lot of boxes for me. It also says that the sisters have not spoken in some time when their estranged father dies. It says that as the sisters come together to clear the grand glass house that he left behind for them, something sinister seems to be unfolding. Something related to their mother's long ago disappearance and the strangers who have always been unusually interested in their lives. I don't know, man. It sounds creepy and I can't wait for it because I love Julia Armfield's writing so freaking much, so I'm sure that this one's gonna be great. Alright, and then we have The Last One at the Wedding by Jason Rekulik, and this is one that I'm so excited about because this is the same author as Hidden Pictures, which is a thriller horror book that came out a few years ago that I did really enjoy. I ended up liking it a lot, and I feel like his writing is just really interesting for like a thriller horror author, so I can't wait to check out this one. I'm also obsessed with this cover, by the way. Oh my god, this little cabin just sitting across the water surrounded by all these trees, and then this color of blue with the gold. Oh my god, it's beautiful. I'm obsessed with looking at it. But anyways, this one comes out October 8th. This one says it's a breathtaking work of suspense about a father trying to save his daughter from a life-altering decision that will put everything he loves on the line. So it says we're following this guy named Frank. It says that he's shocked when his daughter Maggie calls him for the first time in 3 years. He was convinced that their estrangement would become permanent, and he's even more surprised when she invites him to the upcoming wedding. It says he arrives to find out that the wedding is at a private estate, very secluded, very luxurious, and very out of his league. It seems that Maggie failed to mention that she's marrying Aiden, the son of a famous tech billionaire. Feeling desperately out of place, Frank focuses on reconnecting with Maggie and getting to know her new family, but it's difficult because Aiden is withdrawn and evasive. Maggie doesn't seem to have time for him, and he finds the locals are disturbingly hostile to the Gardners. Frank needs to know more about this family his daughter is marrying into, but if he pushes too hard, he could lose Maggie forever. It sounds really interesting. You know, I do love thrillers that involve weddings like this, especially when it involves like estranged family members trying to like make things right. So this definitely sounds like something I will be excited to read in October. There's also this one coming out that sounds really good called The Hitchcock Hotel by Stephanie Robel. This one's coming out September 24th, and Stephanie Robel is actually the same author as Darling Rose Gold, which is a thriller that I read a number of years ago now that I really enjoyed. And this one says a Hitchcock fanatic with an agenda invites old friends for a weekend stay at his secluded themed hotel. So like, what the heck? If you are an Alfred Hitchcock fan, this one sounds like a must because it just sounds so fun. It says to celebrate the hotel's first anniversary, he invites his former best friends from his college film club for a reunion. He hasn't spoken to any of them in 16 years, not after what happened. But who better than them to appreciate Alfred's creation and to help him finish it? After all, no Hitchcock set is complete without a body. Oh my god. I don't know, this one sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm here for the vibes. Ooh, there's also this one coming out called William by Mason Coyle, and this one sounds so freaking cool. This one's publishing October 3rd, and this one's a horror sci-fi type of book. This cover is so freaking creepy, by the way, like the freaking red eye standing right behind the door. Are you kidding me? So this one sounds interesting because we're following this guy named Henry, who is a brilliant but reclusive engineer, and he's created an artificially intelligent consciousness. He names the half-formed robot William, and it says, but there's something strange about William. It says it's the way he looks at Henry's wife, Lily. Henry created William, but he's starting to lose control of him. You see, this shit is so creepy, and I feel like this shit feels very real to me. Like the fact that you can make an AI and then kind of like start to lose control of it a little bit. I feel like there's gonna be a lot more horror books like this coming out in these next couple of years because AI is getting so scary and so weird. And I love that at the very top line of this book, I love that it says an up all night slice of Halloween horror, perfect for fans of Stephen King, Black Mirror, and Frankenstein. Those all just like check some boxes for me. I am really excited to read this one. I think it's gonna be so fun. All right, next up is gonna be the next book from Rachel Harrison, which is called So Thirsty. This one's actually coming out September 10th. And this one is a horror novel that involves vampires. Dude, Rachel Harrison, I swear, she's really done it all at this point, you know, because I feel like her books, she always has these horror books that are more on like the lighthearted kind of fun side, in my opinion. And I feel like she's done a lot of the different horror tropes lately. Like one of her last books was like a werewolf. She's done ones that have like witchy vibes in the past. She's done a lot of different genres, and I'm so excited that she's finally gonna be doing like a vampire type of story because lately, I have been extra intrigued by vampire things. You know, I'm kind of in my vampire era right now. But this one says, a woman must learn to take life by the throat after a night out leads to irrevocable changes. So this one says, Sloane Parker is dreading her birthday. She doesn't need a reminder she's getting old or that she's feeling indifferent about her own life. Girl, same. It says her husband surprises her with a birthday weekend getaway, not with him, but with her longtime best friend, Naomi. It says when they arrive at their rental cottage, it becomes clear Naomi has something else in mind. She wants Sloane to stop letting things happen to her and for her to really live. So Naomi orchestrates a wild night out with a group of mysterious strangers, only for it to take a horrifying turn that changes Sloane and Naomi's lives literally forever. So it sounds like they're gonna encounter some fucking vampires. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know, I'm excited for this. There's something about Rachel Harrison's writing. She writes these horror books that have like this cozy kind of feel to them, and usually that's like not really my thing. Like I would describe myself actually as somebody who doesn't really enjoy cozy horror at all, but there is something about the way that Rachel Harrison writes her books. Like they're just so much fun. And then we have Devils Kill Devils by Johnny Compton. This one's coming out September 24th. This is from the same author as The Spite House, which is one that I read a little while ago, and I thought that The Spite House was okay. It says Devils Kill Devils is perfect for fans of Silvia Moreno Garcia's Certain Dark Things and Southern Gothic horror. It says he brings his trademark terror and dread that readers fell in love with in The Spite House to a new roster of monsters, angels, devils, vampires, and a heart-pounding race to save the world. So this one sounds like it's going to be a little bit more like paranormal, possibly, than his last book. I mean, the fact that he has a new roster of monsters with angels, devils, vampires. I mean, I'm definitely intrigued by the vampires things. I don't know if I love reading about angels and devils necessarily, but this is definitely one that I'm willing to give a shot. Okay, this next one I have on my list is A Sunny Place for Shady People by Mariana Enriquez. For some reason on here, it says that this one was published March 6th. So like it has already been published, but then it says this edition is expected to publish September 17th. So I think there are different versions of this book that might have already been published, but the one with this beautiful yellow cover is the one that's publishing in September, I think. But this one I'm curious about because this one says it's a collection of short stories, and they're short horror stories, which, you know, short horror stories tend to be some of my favorites, and this is from the same author as Our Share of Night, which was one of my favorite horror books that I read last year. It was in my top 10 favorites. And so ever since loving that book as much as I did, I am definitely excited to read anything from Mariana Enriquez. So this one says, in 12 spellbinding news stories, Enriquez writes about ordinary people, especially women, whose lives turn inside out when they encounter terror, the surreal, and the supernatural. It sounds like a great time, and I'm definitely here for this one. Okay, and then I have this one called It Will Only Hurt for a Moment by Delilah S. Dawson. This one is coming out October 22nd, and this one is another horror adult fiction book. This one is actually from the same author as Bloom, which is a horror book that I read earlier this year that I really enjoyed. She's also the author of The Violence, which I have not yet read, but I've heard good things about. This one says it's an atmospheric feminist horror novel about a woman trying to reinvent herself at a secluded artist colony, only to be drawn into its dark past. So this one does sound pretty cool. I feel like Delilah S. Dawson is going to become one of those authors where like I'm always going to want to pick up her new releases because of how much I liked Bloom. Okay, and then the next one on this list is American Rapture. This is by C.J. Lead, who is the same author as Mayfly, and even though I didn't love Mayfly personally, it was about a 3-star for me. Like I did like it, but it wasn't like a top favorite of mine. But this is one that I'm excited to read. It comes out October 15th, and this one's another horror book. It says a virus is spreading across America, transforming the infected and making them feral with lust. Sophie, a good Catholic girl, must traverse the hellscape of the Midwest to try to find her family while the world around her burns. Along the way, she discovers there are far worse fates than dying a virgin. I don't know what to expect with this book. I mean, my biggest fear with this is that it's going to be very heavy-handed with the religious themes and that I'm not going to like it that much. But also, I'm so curious to check out this one because I love stories like this that are about like a virus that's like spreading really fast. I also think it's so interesting that it sounds like the virus is related to like lust and like sexual things. Like what? I'm just so intrigued. And like, look at that average rating, dude. It has a 4.51 with 200 ratings. Like that is pretty good. I mean, I know the book's not technically out yet, so that could drop quite a bit by the time it actually publishes. But like, damn, that's a high average rating. This next one I also think sounds really cool. It's called Haunt Sweet Home by Sarah Pinsker. And this one is a horror novella. It's actually publishing September 3rd. This one of the reasons I think it sounds cool is because it says it takes place on the set of a reality TV show staged scares transform into unnerving reality in this spooky ghost story. So I do typically enjoy things that are about like reality TV because I am a pretty big reality TV watcher myself, and so anytime a book includes reality TV, I think that's pretty fun. And this one sounds cool because it says we're following this girl who lands a job as the night shift production assistant on her cousin's ghost hunting / home makeover reality TV show called Haunt Sweet Home. It says, but as she hides fog machines in the woods and improvises scares to spook new homeowners, a series of unnerving incidents on set and a creepy new coworker force Mara to confront whether the person she's truly been deceiving and hiding from all along is herself. It says it's eerie and empathetic. Haunt Sweet Home is a multifaceted, supernatural exploration of finding your own way into adulthood. Dude, this sounds like something that could be right up my alley. Like, I'm hoping that it's great. I'm a little nervous because of the low reviews for this one so far, but also with horror books, I can never trust the low reviews on Goodreads because I feel like so many of my favorite horror books of all time have really low reviews on Goodreads. All right, and then these last two that I added onto my list are both books that are actually coming out in the month of August. So this first one is called Till Death Do Us Part by Lori Elizabeth Flynn. This one's actually coming out August 13th, so this one's probably already going to be out by the time that this video goes up. But this one is a mystery thriller from the same author as The Girls Are All So Nice Here, which is a book that I read probably like a year or two ago now, and I actually really enjoyed that one. This one says it's a thriller set in the vineyards of Napa Valley that asks what happens when the husband you thought died years ago shows up alive. It says 10 years ago, June's beloved husband drowned on their honeymoon. His body was never found. It says now, a decade later, June is finally ready to move on. She owns a natural wine bar in Brooklyn and is engaged to a patient, supportive man named Kyle. But then she sees him, Josh, her first husband. She doesn't know if it's a hallucination from the guilt, or is it possible that her new husband never died in the first place? Dude, this kind of sounds like One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, but like make it a thriller horror book instead of a romance, doesn't it? I don't really know what to expect with this one, but I'm excited to check it out. I think it sounds kind of cool. Right, and then the last one that I have on this list is called Someone in the Attic by Andrea Mara. And this one is also a thriller that's coming out August 20th, so like pretty soon here. This one just has a really creepy cover, by the way. Like the fact that the door is just a little bit cracked open like that just really freaks me out looking at it. Chilling novel about a family who thinks there's someone hiding in their attic. Ooh, that's creepy. It says, you thought you were home alone. Anya is enjoying a relaxing bath when she hears a noise coming from the ceiling. Through the open bathroom door, she sees the attic hatch swing down and a masked figure drops to the floor. 30 seconds later, Anya is dead. Holy shit, that's so scary. It says you're not afraid of being alone in the dark. You're afraid you're not alone. Across town, Anya's old school friend Julia sees an online video of a masked figure climbing out of an attic. She suddenly realizes why the footage is eerily familiar. It was filmed inside her house in a luxury gated community designed to keep intruders out. And now your worst fears are coming true. Why would a stranger target Julia unless of course it's not a stranger at all? Dude, I don't even know. Reading that premise right now, that just gave me like goosebumps. Like that was so creepy. Like a masked figure jumping down from the attic. That is horrifying. So I can't wait to read it. It has pretty good reviews so far as well. I don't know if this was like published in another country already, but it already has 2,900 reviews on Goodreads and it still has over a 4 average rating. All right, so those are all of my most anticipated books for the rest of the year. You'll have to let me know if you are also anticipating any of these books. You'll also have to let me know if there are any other books publishing in the year of 2024 that I didn't mention that you're looking forward to, because I'm sure there are so many more that I don't even know about. I'm also just really looking forward to 2025 as well, because there have already been so many books announced coming out in 2025 that I cannot wait. Like, I'm so excited for all of the things. I will have linked down below my Goodreads most anticipated shelf, which will include all of these books on that shelf if you want to go and check it out. But yeah, wow, definitely let me know which books you are anticipating the most in the last quarter of this year. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you very soon with another video. Bye!